Hey, I'm Warren Sprouse. This is the Bible Forum. We're here every Sunday night, whether you are or not. Tonight, I want to talk to you about 15 flashpoints that point to world change. A website out there called prophecynewswatch.com. Prophecynewswatch.com recently published what they called flashpoints, things that would create world changing events in the second half of 2018. Reading through these was like reading the New York Times in terms of the author's views. It was a little disconcerting. But number one, they said war in the Middle East. Duh. A state of war already exists in Israel. 200 rockets or mortar shells were fired into Israel on Saturday last alone. Wouldn't take much to spark a regional war. That was an easy one. Secondly, they noticed the civil unrest in cities around the country. How progressives are promising a summer of rage against President Trump and everything he stands for. How they claim this is about starting to boil. How this is about to start boiling over onto the streets of our major cities. What he's not telling us is the amount of backfire coming from every corner of American society, except the most radicalized liberals who now seem to be on the fringe. Government officials are changing. Agencies that held to this policy or that policy are now changing. I read today the United Nations is starting to shift in some areas that you would never have thought. I like to think it was a part and parcel of our precious former governor, Nikki Haley. I don't know. Thirdly, the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. The author says, here's a man whose judicial reputation is both politically and religiously conservative. So prominent liberals are stoking fears that the Supreme Court will start taking away our most cherished liberties. They expect Washington, D.C. to be the focus of a lot of chaos later this summer, ending with the Senate's approval of this judge. You're going to be surprised who votes for him. Fourthly, the city of Chicago is a powder keg that could erupt at any moment. That's like saying today's Sunday. The shocking number of violent deaths in that city alone are becoming quite unbearable. Number 5, the 2018 midterm elections are probably the most important in modern history. His opinion. At this point, the left appears to have more energy than the right as they have accumulated a voter registration lead of 12 million in states that require party affiliation. The truth? Not every Democrat registered voter is ultra-liberal. And a larger percentage don't vote at all unless somebody either takes them to the polls or votes for them. We have heard just since Trump got elected, a number of so-called Democrats and people in disadvantaged places in our society praising the Donald. Why? They got a job. They got money in their pocket for the first time in their life. Might not be what they think. Number 6. That Hillary Clinton has been acting very much like a presidential candidate in recent days, and that she has been continually fueling hatred for Donald Trump during her public appearances. So people believe that she might actually launch another campaign for the presidency once the midterm elections are over, even as her own party no longer wants her around. I don't think she has the physical stamina. I don't think she can do it. She proved that the last time. Number 7, President Trump's immigration policies, which have absolutely infuriated the left. And Mexico's new president, is a radical socialist that absolutely hates Donald Trump. A man who has declared that immigration to the United States is a human right. Kind of hard to see how this crisis is going to end well. But it will. It'll have a wall. Read just this week, border police, somebody high up in the echelon, said everywhere we have built a wall, immigration, the illegal kind, is under control. There you go. Number 8, a trade war has erupted between the two largest economies on the planet, the United States and China. Ooh. U.S. consumers are going to have to start paying more for certain goods. U.S. businesses that are heavily dependent on exports are going to have to start laying off workers. At the same time, Trump's effort seems to be paying off, as the offending nations are having to adjust to reality. And U.S. businesses are struggling to find employees. Now, keep in mind, the top 10 economies of the world, 8 are part of what we call Western civilization. China, India, Russia. Russia's not even on the list. Things are going to change. Number 9, Democrats have made Russia the boogeyman in their effort to derail President Trump's foreign policies. I say look for that to dominate the news in the coming months. Number 10, President Trump has threatened to pull the United States out of NATO if European leaders do not immediately begin increasing defense spending. Increasing it to what level? Oh, to the level they all agreed upon decades ago and have never paid. They make that sound like he said some terrible thing. They all agreed 70 years ago, and they've never done it. And we've never held them accountable. He is. Oh, he can't do that. He's doing it. And you know what? They're coming up with the money. And then there's the price of oil. This particular author sees the price of oil reaching levels not seen in many years and suggests many people that the price is going to go much higher, putting a tremendous amount of strain on working families all over America. Truth? Oil prices spiked the last half of 2009. In 2010, Obama was elected and oil prices continued to rise, holding steady at the $100 level throughout his administration. It dropped precipitously in 2015, went to levels lower than the Bush administration, down into the $35 range, only to start rising again in 2016. The last year of Obama's administration. Those prices have continued to rise, reaching a current level of about $80 a barrel. And Texas is about to become the world's largest producer of oil in the world. If you can't do the math, $80 is 20% less than the $100 this guy is throwing out as a, oh. Number 13, the political and financial crisis in Italy. The Italian government's going through an enormous amount of turmoil right now. There are rumblings that the Italians may decide to leave the European Union altogether. And Great Britain, they're probably going to do it too. This is going to be bad. This is going to be terrible. I don't think so. I don't think so. Number 14, the earth is in travail. More than 30 volcanoes are erupting all around the world right now, and seismic activity appears to be escalating along the Ring of Fire. You know what that is, in the Pacific Ocean all the way around. Experts believe it is past time for a major seismic event in the United States. 30 volcanoes erupting all around the world right now. Do you know that happens all the time? Yeah. Number 15, There's a drought in the Southwest. A devastating drought of historic proportions has already caused the Dust Bowl conditions to return to some areas of the Southwest. If more rain doesn't start falling, farmers and ranchers in the region are going to be absolutely crippled. Have you heard this in the news anywhere? I haven't heard any of this being reported anywhere, and I pay attention. There are wildfires in the West, which makes one wonder what's going on. Some of the old timers will tell you it's Bill Clinton. The socialists and others, the back to the green earth kind of people, they stopped the forest people from cleaning all the ground cover out of the forests. We've had nothing but runaway fires ever since that happened. Yeah, they used to go in and set fires in the forest to burn off all the debris that lays on the floor. Save from having forest fires that kill people and destroy homes. They stopped that. One little spark, and they can't get it under control. Yeah, progress. Brave new world.